Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to conduct the virtual lab for MB3 test 4, which is the Sieve analysis of fine aggregate. For that you need to open up the Word file that has been already uploaded in Spectrum. In there you can find the links for all the virtual lab. As usual, all you have to do is click on the link or copy paste it. So right now I'm just going to copy paste the link. Now it has redirected to the virtual lab page. Make sure you have clicked on the correct link. You should be able to see this. Fineness modulus of fine aggregate. Now, don't get confused by looking at the title. I know in the lab manual it is written as Sieve analysis. But then at the end of Sieve analysis, you are going to find the fineness modulus. So basically both are the same. So before we move on to the simulator, it is important for you to know the importance of this test. It is already written here. The determination of fineness modulus is considered as a method of standardization of grading of aggregate. Apart from that, finding fineness modulus is to grade the given aggregate for the most economical mix and workability within minimum quantity of the cement. You can read the rest of the theory on your own. Now let's move on to the simulator. Okay. So the objective of this test is to determine the fineness modulus and fine size distribution of fine aggregates. This is the apparatus setup for this experiment. You need a sieve set, mechanical shaker, weighing scale, and also trays. Next, we are using river sand for this experiment. Okay, first of all you need to turn on the weighing scale and then place the tray on it. There. Okay, now you need to weigh about 1000 grams or 1 kg of sand, but then in our lab we'll be using 500 grams of sand. Okay, just click here. Okay, done. Next. Okay, now you need to arrange the sieve set starting from the pan and then in increasing size order. And also another thing that you have to notice here, the smallest sieve size here is 75 micrometer, but then in our lab the smallest size is 150 micrometer. So later on in your data you need to open up a new row for 75 micrometer. Okay, now let's start from the pan. Okay, first click on the pan. You don't have to think much, just follow the arrows. Just click and click and click. Okay, done. Now you need to pour the sand in it and then close it with a lid. Okay, next. Okay, so now you need to place the sieve set on the mechanical shaker and then let it shake for 10 minutes. Okay, restrain it and then tighten the screw. Turn it on and now shake it. Okay, done shaking. Click next. You need to loosen the screw, remove the restraint, then remove the sieve set, take off the lid. Now you need to weigh the amount of sand retained in each sieve and also in the pan. Okay, let's start from 4.75 mm. Okay, click there and then click here. Now click here, there. Make sure you record all the values. There, then click. Next, there, click. Next, there, and click. So this is the last one, last sieve. There, and finally the pen. Okay, next. Okay, now make sure to fill in the blanks. I'm just going to get the values later, but you're recording this lab, right, with your group mates. So make sure all of you take turn and fill in the blanks here, and then finally find the finest modulus. So now I'm just going to click here. Okay, so these are the values. Click next. This is the data. Actually, the data that we require in the lab manual is the one that you saw previously, the table, but you can also include this both. You have to include both. Okay, next, the graph. Okay, you're actually quite lucky because the graph is readily provided for you, but then for your friends, those who did it previously, they had to come up with their own graph. So that means I don't allow you to copy paste this graph. I want you to do your own graph. So that's it for the testing. You don't have a few trials here because even in lab you only do this once. Okay, so now let's move on to the discussion questions. Okay, for MB3 test 4 you have 7 questions starting from significance till the minimization of errors. I've already checked all the questions. All these are answerable, so please do all these questions, all these 7 questions. And apart from this, I also have 2 more questions for you. All you have to do is go back to the virtual lab page, go up here, and then you can find the assignment here. So they have 2 assignment questions here. This now was 7, right? So you plus these 2 will be 9 questions. So I want you to answer all these 9 questions for your discussion part. So let me just give you a recap on what you have to do. You have to start from introduction, and then material, apparatus, procedure, and then the data. You have to use the data that you got from your virtual lab page. In our lab, there's only up till the smallest size is 150 micrometer, but then in virtual lab the smallest size is 75 micrometer. So you need to include that as well. And then you need to answer 7 questions from the lab manual and 2 questions from here. So I think that's all for this test. Thank you for listening.